Let's start with the money. Always follow the money. According to your report, have I got it right? Over 649 million euros allocated by the EU to control public discourse. That's a huge amount of money. In effect, European taxpayers are funding an attack on their own freedom of expression. Is that what that means?
Yes, it does, essentially. Well, when you say Europeans, I'd say the Commission are using European taxpayers' money in a completely unaccountable fashion to essentially, as you say, fund a network of NGOs, of think tanks, of university research departments to essentially provide the framework of the language and the analytical context within which there's a discussion about hate speech, and they call it disinformation, misinformation. And in fact, if anything, it's a manufacturing system that is manufacturing the EU's misinformation. In other words, they use these organizations to essentially prove their supposition that hate speech is this big threat, or disinformation is a big threat to the future of European democracy. And what they're really referring to here is that it's the kind of technocratic response to the rise of populism in Europe. It's a political ideology and an outlook that is challenging many of the assumptions of the EU federalist project, the kind of top-down imposition across Europe, where people are saying, look, they want a voice, they're sick of being ignored or being treated like idiots. And the EU's response to this is that the only reason why this is happening is because they're being fed disinformation. You know, people are being stupid. They're stupid, essentially. They don't really have the moral or political independence or autonomy to think for themselves. And therefore, we as their betters will determine, you know, what should be said, what can be said, what can be thought, written about, expressed in Europe. They do it in a very insidious way, which is not directly, this is not, you know, the Gestapo knocking on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is done through speech. It's done through the language that is regarded as legitimate in order to delegitimize voices and views that they disagree with.